Understanding time limits for legal action is crucial when dealing with contract disputes in Tennessee. Miss the deadline, and you could permanently lose your right to seek justice, regardless of how strong your case might be. Tennessee has specific rules governing how long you have to file a breach of contract lawsuit, known as the statute of limitations. For most breach of contract claims in Tennessee, you have 6 years from the date of the breach to file your lawsuit. This applies to the majority of written contracts that fall under general contract law. However, not all contracts follow this 6-year rule. If your contract involves the sale of goods, it falls under the Uniform Commercial Code, or UCC, which imposes a shorter 4-year limitation period. This distinction is important for businesses that regularly deal with product sales and purchases. The form of your agreement also matters. Written contracts typically benefit from the full 6-year statute of limitations. Oral contracts, which rely on verbal agreements rather than documented terms, may be subject to a shorter 3-year period, depending on the specific circumstances and how courts interpret your claim. In Tennessee, the clock typically starts ticking on the exact date the breach occurs, not when you discover it. For example, if a payment was due on June 1st but never arrived, the statute of limitations begins running that same day. This differs from some other types of legal claims, where the discovery rule might apply. The type of breach can affect how courts view the limitation period. A material breach, which substantially undermines the purpose of the contract, starts the statute immediately. An anticipatory breach occurs when one party clearly communicates they won't fulfill their obligations, starting the clock at the moment of that declaration. For continuing breaches, such as recurring payment failures, each new violation may restart the limitation period, but only for the most recent incidents. Certain circumstances can pause or toll the statute of limitations. If the injured party is a minor or legally incompetent when the breach occurs, the statute may be paused until they gain legal capacity. Fraudulent concealment of the breach by the other party might also extend the deadline. Military service or imprisonment can provide extensions under certain protections. Parties can also modify the statute of limitations through their contract terms. Under the UCC, the 4-year period can be shortened to as little as 1 year by agreement, though it cannot be extended beyond 4 years. Any modification must not violate public policy or be deemed unconscionable by courts. Unlike some other legal claims, Tennessee generally does not apply the discovery rule to contract actions. This means, even if you don't immediately realize a breach has occurred, the statute typically begins running when the breach happens, not when you discover it. This makes vigilant contract monitoring essential. Understanding these timeframes is critical for protecting your legal rights. 6 years might seem like a long time, but legal matters often move slowly. Gathering evidence, consulting attorneys, and attempting to resolve disputes informally can consume months or years before formal legal action becomes necessary. If you believe a contract has been breached, consulting with a qualified attorney promptly can help ensure you don't inadvertently lose your right to legal recourse due to an expired statute of limitations. The specific facts of your situation, the nature of your contract, and the type of breach will all influence the exact deadline applicable to your case.